Hello everyone, and welcome back to Healing Her Sacred Light. As you can see by the title, in today's video, we are going to be discussing a topic within our Womb Awakening series, and that is protector of children. The aim of this video is not to shame, blame, or condemn. It's to awaken the woman who knows deep in her soul that motherhood is sacred. To remind us that raising a child is not just a task, it is a spiritual responsibility, and it's time to take it very seriously. Let's get started. In a world that has forgotten the sacredness of childhood, we must remember that children are not accessories. They are not here to fix our loneliness. They are not here to save a relationship, keep a man, or give our life meaning. They are souls, ancient and divine, choosing to come through us. And they deserve more than just survival. They deserve to be nurtured, protected, and loved with intention. We need more present parents. We need more healed, self-aware, awake parents who understand the sacredness of shaping a life. Bringing a child into the world should never be a reaction to loneliness, pressure, or societal timelines. Motherhood is not a trophy. It is a sacred responsibility, and it must be chosen with care. It should be a soul-level commitment, a prayer answered, not a void filled. The truth is, not everyone should have children. And that doesn't make them bad people. It just means they should spend more time healing their own inner demons. Parenthood isn't something you do simply because you can. It demands genuine emotional readiness, spiritual maturity, and the willingness to nurture another soul. I want to pause and say this clearly. This message is not to blame or shame mothers. And it's not to say that we're the only ones responsible. This isn't about who works more, who provides more, or who parents better. Because both parents matter. Both parents shape a child's world. And the wounds we carry were not all created by women. Many of us were deeply hurt by the absence, aggression, or neglect of our fathers too. So yes, the father's presence is essential. He is the protector of all of us. He is a container that holds space for the mother to be soft. He is the guide, the mirror of strength, the one who stands guard. But when the world forgets how sacred mothers are, when we forget how sacred we are, the entire home begins to unravel. So in this message, I'm speaking directly to the feminine, the force that births life and nourishes it. This is a gentle reminder. As women, we carry the sacred role of being the soul keepers, the nurturers, the medicine of the home. Not because we're better, not because men don't matter, but because we are wired for connection, for intuition, for emotional depth. The Divine Mother lives in us for a reason. The feminine holds the codes of compassion, softness, and safety. And when that feminine is suppressed, abandoned, or forgotten, children suffer. So this message is not to hurt you. It's to wake you up, because the children are watching, and they are waiting for us to remember who we are. To be a mother is not just to give birth. It's to embody the Divine Mother. So what are the qualities of the Divine Mother? She is soft yet strong, intuitive yet disciplined, fierce when protection is needed, gentle when emotions overflow. She is patient. The Divine Mother is not perfect. She is present. She is a sanctuary, an anchor of peace in this chaotic world. She sits with her shadows so her children don't have to carry them. She learns to regulate her own emotions so her children don't feel responsible for them. She creates a home that feels safe because she finally made her body a safe place to live. This is sacred work. The Divine Mother doesn't just feed her child, she sees them. She doesn't shush their spirit. She doesn't rush their stories. She holds space, even when the day is long, even when she's tired, because she knows that the little moments are the ones that shape eternity. Unfortunately, children are brought into the world to fix broken bonds, to please others, to fill emotional wounds never addressed. And then when the illusion fades, the children are often neglected, left to screens, strangers, and systems. Many parents do hand their children over to tablets and TVs. Others allow unsafe partners, family members, or unstable friends around their babies because they fear being alone more than they fear the consequences. A child's safety must never be sacrificed for company. Watch who you let around your children. In this system, most parents barely see their child. They drop them off early, pick them up late, and I get it. I understand bills have to be paid, and this is just how the system is. And then the parents end up exhausted, burned out, or disconnected. Unfortunately, children spend more time with teachers and peers than with the ones who birthed them. And what do these institutions that they get sent to teach? To obey, to conform, and to stay quiet. Children are often bullied, medicated, and slowly drained of their light. And somehow this has become normal. But deep down, we know this is not what children want or need. They need presence. They need space to grow, cry, question, and dream. They need protection, not programming. Many of the problems we see in the world today, the violence, the numbness, the addictions, the emotional shutdown, they don't begin in adulthood. They begin in the home. In a home where love was conditional, where emotions were punished, where obedience was mistaken for virtue, where a child's soul had to shrink in order to survive. Sadly, so many of us were raised in households where yelling, threats, and physical punishment were considered normal. Even acts of violence were brushed off as discipline, when in truth they were wounds disguised as love. But let's be clear, yelling rewires a child's nervous system. Spanking and hitting teach fear, not respect. When a child is screamed at or hit, over time this floods their body with cortisol. I talked about cortisol in my last video. If you haven't watched it, please check it out. Cortisol is a stress hormone, and it actually damages the parts of the brain that are responsible for memory, emotional regulation, and empathy and trust. They don't learn to respect authority, they learn to distrust love. Neuroscience tells us chronic stress in childhood creates trauma responses that can last a lifetime. It shrinks the hippocampus, and it dysregulates the amygdala. Early life trauma can leave lasting epigenetic marks on genes that regulate our stress response, immune function, and metabolism, effectively reprogramming the HPA axis, that is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Those chemical tweaks to DNA expression can heighten inflammation, raise vulnerability to anxiety and depression, and increase the risk for chronic conditions well into adulthood. Raising a child with gentleness is not being weak or being a pushover parent. It's being intentional. It's being conscious. And if you were raised with yelling or hitting, know this: it was never your fault, but you have the power to break the cycle. The Divine Mother does not raise her hand in rage. She raises her child in awareness, protection, and sacred discipline, rooted in love. If you do not heal yourself, your demons will raise your children. The parts of you that were silenced, the parts of you that are still angry, still ashamed, still hurting, they don't go away just because you became a mother. They find their way into the home, into your tone, into your reactions, into your child's heart. Unhealed pain repeats itself, and most of the time it hides in plain sight. The mother who shames her child because she was never allowed to feel. The father who demands perfection because he was never enough for his own parents. The household that chooses silence over truth because speaking up once led to punishment. These are the curses passed down, not by choice, but by avoidance. To break a generational curse is not to hate your parents. It's to see clearly what they could not. It's to say, this pain ends with me. You cannot protect your child if you're still afraid of your own inner child. You cannot love your child fully if your heart is still locked in survival. Healing isn't a luxury, it's a responsibility. Because your child isn't just watching what you teach. They are absorbing who you are. Many parents raise their children not to be free, but to be manageable. Do what I say or you're disrespectful. Follow the path I chose or you're ungrateful. Be who I need you to be or you're not good enough. This is not love. This is control rooted in fear. To raise a conscious child is to say, I am not here to mold you into my image. I am here to protect your soul as it unfolds. We have to stop projecting our unmet dreams, our fears, and our traumas onto our children and start seeing them as whole beings with their own purpose. When a child is not allowed to be themselves, they either learn to become who the parent wants, or they rebel so hard that they lose themselves in the process. Either way, the soul suffers. Children come into this world wide open, eyes full of wonder, hearts full of questions, and spirits ready to explore, imagine, and connect. To be curious is to be alive. It's how the soul learns, grows, and makes sense of the world. When a child asks why, it's not to bother you. It's because their soul is stretching. To kneel down, to listen, to answer with love, even when you're tired. That's how trust is built. That's how emotional safety is formed. But in a world moving too fast, many of them are met with, not right now. You ask too many questions. Go sit down. Shut up. You always mess up. Stop talking so much. And what happens? That spark, that sacred light begins to dim. When a child feels like no one is listening, when their ideas are constantly ignored, when their questions are met with annoyance, when their little voices are treated like noise, they begin to believe, I'm too much. I don't matter. My presence is a burden. And that belief doesn't stay in childhood. It becomes a quiet pain they carry into adulthood, into relationships, careers, and their self-worth. We live in a society full of adults who never felt seen, who never got to be themselves, who are still waiting for the approval they were denied as children. And those wounds spill into relationships, into careers, into how they parent the next generation. Children don't need perfect parents. They need attuned ones who make eye contact, ones who say, I hear you, even when it's small. Because to a child, nothing they say is small. Your attention teaches them that they matter, that their thoughts are worthy, that their voice deserves to be heard. The most radical act of healing in this society is parenting with presence. We don't just need better schools, laws, or systems. We need better homes. Homes rooted in love, truth, safety, and respect. Homes where a child is allowed to grow, not forced to conform. So if you feel like you're not ready to be a parent, that's okay. It's better to know yourself deeply than to pass down pain unconsciously. The womb is not just a physical place, it's a spiritual contract. When you bring a child into this world, you are saying, I will guard you, I will guide you, I will love you, even when it's hard. That is the vow of the Divine Mother. And if you've made mistakes, it's okay. You can always come back to your child. You can always come back to yourself. This is how we heal humanity. One womb, one child, one awakened mother at a time. In conclusion, this message is for the women who feel the call to return to the role of nurturer, protector, and divine mother. It is for those who want to break generational cycles, parent with presence, and raise children in love, not in fear. Let us speak truthfully about our pain, about the absence, about our mistakes that have been normalized. But let's do it with compassion, with intention, and with a deep reverence for the sacred role that mothers and fathers are meant to embody. The world does not change through politics or power. It changes through the home, through the hearts of those raising the next generation. So this is not an attack. It's an invitation to rise, to reclaim your role, to be the protector of children. To be the ones who see your child not as a task, but as a sacred soul. The future depends on the wombs that wake up and say, "No more, I will not abandon the children. I will not abandon myself." Because when a woman remembers that she is the protector of the child, she becomes the spiritual protector of the world. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more womb wisdom. I'll see you in the next one.